The silence up at my little cabin in the North Carolina mountains was supposed to be a blessing, peace and quiet, after too many years in a windowless office, you know what I mean? But let me tell you, nothing draws out the neighborhood watchdogs like a newcomer who isn't dying to join their book club or paint their porch the right shade of beige. So picture this. I'm Ethan Carter, 34, fresh off a brutal tech layoff, thinking inheriting my grandma Clara's old place in this gated slice of nowhere would finally let me breathe. Man, I had no idea what I was walking into. From day one, Evelyn Harper, our 52-year-old HOA president, decided my existence was her new hobby. I mean, this woman was out here treating my life like an episode of Survivor Gated Community Edition. Peering through her curtains, binoculars flashing, writing me up for stuff you wouldn't believe, all just to make sure I knew exactly who was in charge. Tuesday morning, first week of October, I'm on the porch, coffee steaming, trying to mind my business when I catch her watching me through her upstairs window, not even hiding it. I wave, big smile, like, hey, if you're gonna be obvious, let's at least be neighborly, right? She vanished so fast you'd think I'd thrown a rock. But Thursday there it was, my first violation notice, written in perfect cursive, delivered with all the warmth of a parking ticket. Dear Mr. Carter, your lawn contains dandelions exceeding the 2-inch limit section, 4.7.3. Seriously, I checked ruler in hand like an idiot and found 3 tiny dandelions, none exactly reaching for the sky. I actually laughed, but deep down I knew this wasn't just about weeds. Friday came and now my grandma's hand-painted forest green trim was non-compliant. Saturday, suspicious noises at 7:47 p.m. That was just me chopping onions, but apparently even dinner offended her. By Sunday, things got real. I'm taking out the trash, and there's this tiny button-sized camera in my mailbox angled right at the front door. It wasn't there when I moved in. I didn't touch it, just snapped some photos, made a note. You see, Evelyn wanted to play spy. I'd let her, but I wasn't going to play dumb. Monday morning, I dusted off an old telephoto lens from my college photography phase, pointed it back across the street. And what do I see? Evelyn in her dining room, surrounded by charts and sketches of my daily habits. She was mapping out my life, what time I showered, what groceries I bought, like she was prepping for a military operation. That's when I stopped laughing. Tuesday, she's back at it, grilled cheese odor in violation of olfactory harmony. I sat in my grandma's rocking chair watching the sun go down, thinking, what does she really want? Then it hit me. This was personal, not just HOA nonsense. I dug through Clara's old photo albums, hunting for answers. There it was, a faded Polaroid of Grandma Clara and another woman, both laughing over tea. The back read, Clara and me, sisters forever, 1985, and the other woman, Lillian Harper, Evelyn's mother-in-law. That name, that face, it sent a chill through me. No way this was a coincidence. Wednesday, I get a letter from some fancy law firm threatening to challenge my ownership of the cabin. Boundary dispute, title, irregularities, 10 days to respond or they'd haul me to court. That's when the gloves came off. I started digging through Clara's old files, property records, her diaries, letters, and it all started lining up. Turns out Clara and Lillian inherited this land together, but only Clara's half became the cabin. The Harpers had been trying to buy it for years, even offered double market value 5 years back. Clara turned them down, flat scrawled, never to the Harpers, right across their offer letter. Some kind of deep family rift. But there was more. Clara's diary got dark fast. Pages about Lillian's last months alive, how she'd grown sick, how Evelyn was caring for her but giving her strange medicines. One line jumped out at me. Lillian says Evelyn is poisoning her, but no one believes her. My sister is begging for help. Reading that, man, I felt a lump in my throat. I called the county clerk, got the records on Lillian's death, natural causes. But the diary's last entry, a week before Lillian died, just said, Evelyn is killing her. I know it. I needed help, and I needed it fast. Enter Emily Thompson, retired nurse, Lillian's caretaker for her last year. We met for coffee away from the neighborhood. She was nervous but willing to talk. She told me Lillian suffered from nausea cramps, even a weird metallic taste. Blood work showed crazy arsenic levels spiking and dropping as if someone was dosing her just enough to torture but not quite kill, until one day it did. Emily said she'd kept copies of everything, even a vial of the supplements Evelyn insisted Lillian needed. Emily looked me dead in the eye, tears spilling, and whispered, "She begged me to call your grandmother. Said you two were the only ones who would believe her." That hit me hard. But the rabbit hole went deeper. Turns out after Lillian died, Evelyn's own husband, James Harper, Lillian's son, died 6 months later. Same weird symptoms, officially autoimmune disease. But Emily had seen it before. She handed me a fat manila envelope, blood results, the supplement vial notes. I felt like I was holding someone's last hope for justice. Here's the kicker. After James died, Evelyn inherited everything: the house, the land, and a stack of mineral rights worth millions. The next day, I sent that vial to a private lab. The result: arsenic pure and simple, laced with vitamins to hide the taste, slow-acting and cruel. Evelyn's fingerprints were all over the bottle, preserved by Emily's careful handling. I hired Tom Grayson, a PI with a knack for finding skeletons in people's closets. Tom dug up a nightmare. 2 elderly relatives of Evelyn's had died mysteriously in Florida, both times after changing their wills in her favor. Both deaths ruled natural causes. Evelyn had a talent for making people disappear when it suited her. But Evelyn made a mistake. She'd underestimated just how stubborn Clara had been about keeping records. Between the diary, the medical files, the financial trail, we built a case so solid you could feel it vibrating in your hands. Then out of the blue, George Larson, a retired ranger who'd always kept to himself, reached out. He'd seen Evelyn sneaking into my cabin the night Lillian died, carrying a bag, acting shifty. He'd never spoken up because Evelyn had tried to frame him for illegal hunting and nearly got him run out of town. But George had something else, an old hidden camera system Clara had set up for security. We watched the grainy footage together, Evelyn creeping around, slipping something into a cup, talking to James in low, nervous tones. "I'll handle it, Bobby," she said. That's what she called James when he was little. Gave me goosebumps. Turns out the whole resort development thing, the Harpers were obsessed with, total scam. Money laundering, bribed officials, forged permits, and my cabin was the last obstacle. Evelyn wasn't watching me because she hated my lawn. She was terrified I'd find out the truth. So I set a trap, invited her over to resolve our differences, recorded everything. Halfway through, I dropped the bomb, played the hidden camera tape, laid out the evidence, watched the color drain from her face. She broke. Ranted about weak men, confessed to killing James and Lillian, even blurted out stuff about her Florida relatives. Tried to fake a suicide right there in my kitchen pills and all. But George and Emily were waiting in the next room and stopped her. The FBI showed up the next morning, arrested Evelyn for 3 murders, conspiracy, racketeering, and then some. Her lawyer and a shady doctor who'd signed off on those deaths both got indicted too. The whole neighborhood erupted. Folks who'd lived in fear of Evelyn started sharing stories, everything from stolen holiday decorations to threats about non-compliant mailbox colors. The HOA, such as it was, crumbled overnight. Guess who got elected president? Yours truly. First order of business: abolish the worst rules, set up a fund in Lillian's name to help protect elders in the community. My cabin's old camera system. Now it's security for the whole neighborhood. Evelyn's waiting for trial. The empire she built on fear and greed, finally in ruins. Me. I sit out on that porch every evening thinking about Clara, about Lillian, about all the little injustices that add up until someone finally says enough. Funny thing is, I thought I was moving here to escape. Turns out I was meant to fight for something bigger than myself. And let me tell you, some legacies are worth fighting for, especially when the people you're up against have spent their whole lives making others feel small. So now I gotta ask, have you ever run up against someone like Evelyn? Somebody who made you question the meaning of justice or maybe even your own sanity? Drop your story in the comments. You never know, your fight might be exactly what someone else needs to finally stand up.